All right, let's talk about Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, who have a very bizarre offensive performance in this game. Their offense essentially does nothing for the first 50-plus minutes of the game. All of a sudden, it gets kind of hot at the end, almost comes back and wins it. But let's talk about first why it was so cold, not just literally, but figuratively as well, early on for Green Bay. Starting off with, I think just this is always a big factor. When the offense isn't going well, it's usually going to be coverage to some degree or guys not getting open, whatever you want to say. This play, you see one-on-one matchup against zone coverage. Love is going to take the snap, and, you can kind of see why he wants to throw this one right away. If you're going to throw it, you have to get the ball out of your hands quickly here. There's a little bit of a win. But as you see, Quinyon Mitchell comes back. He knocks that football away. He had a really good game. The Eagles in general, both teams played great defensively everywhere, but, quarterbacks aren't going to look good if there's nowhere to go with the football, and you have those defensive plays. You have enough of those, and it's going to create some issues for Green Bay, especially when they weren't consistently running the ball in this game either. Gets you in obvious passing situations where the Eagles are covering well. Although heading over here, there are some plays where it's fair to criticize Jordan Love for the offense not being able to work. So first, this one's going to be a zone coverage concept for the Eagles. Watch how when Love takes a snap, he runs the play action, and you see this over the middle route. This is really his first read on this play. There's some pressure that he has to deal with, but quite frankly, he has enough time in the pocket at this point. If he stays there and hits Romeo Doubs, this is probably a big completion, in this situation, and it would have gone for a first down as well. Instead, he tries to scramble. Listen, he's a good runner of the football. If he, can make a linebacker miss, you have a chance. But that's also Zach Bond, not an easy guy to make miss. So probably should have thrown it. There were a couple of those that Troy Aikman brought up on the broadcast. So would have maybe liked to hit on at least one of them. And also this play too, definitely one you can be critical of. This is in the first half. Both teams have zeros on the scoreboard, but the Packers are in field goal range right here. Again, McManus has been a little shaky this season, and it's cold out, so you'd like to gain more yards here. But you have a timeout. Jordan Love takes the snap. There's going to be pressure. It's actually kind of due to Josh Jacobs not picking up that blitz particularly great. Love is in trouble. The issue, though, or I guess you should say the benefit, though, is that Jacobs is still right there. If you can flip it out to him, he might be able to pick up some yards. I get why Love wants to do this. I really do. You see, he tries to see if he can flip it out and just loses the ball before he can. You can see on the replay, he definitely lost possession of the ball before he got the ball. He then moved his hand forward and batted it forward. But ultimately, that's, still a fumble, and the Philadelphia Eagles are able to recover. So you don't even get a chance for a field goal right there. So again, you get it. You really do. You understand why he wanted to do that, but ultimately a play that went wrong in a game that they lost by 3 points. So those were 3 important points there. You also think about this sequence. So this is now 3-0 Philadelphia. This was a weird sequence. So it's 3rd down and 9, man coverage across the board here for the Philadelphia Eagles. And so, okay, let's find a matchup that you like if you're Jordan Love. Love takes a snap, and it's going to be Romeo Doubs running this route. Probably their most consistent receiver this season, I would say. Going up against Quinyon Mitchell. Again, tough matchup. This is not wide open whatsoever. But Love makes a great throw, and, it's just Doubs can't quite hang on and make the play. That would have been a tough catch. And again, the ball is harder to catch when it is this cold out, right? All of that stuff. Still, though, an opportunity to make a play on 3rd and 9. It's now 4th and 9, and Green Bay does decide to go for it here. Is that the right decision? Again, I think in a vacuum, yes, it's the right decision. Like if it's all things equal, because you're kind of not going to get the full benefit of a punt, most likely, if you punt this close, but also not quite close enough to a field goal. I do wonder, though, given the game situation, given that it's 3-0 with 5 minutes left in the third, is this the situation where you do try and punt, pin them inside the 10, and hope to get good field position on a fresh set of downs on the following drive? Maybe. Here, though, okay, listen, regardless of whether it's the right decision or not, players have to execute the play. Love is going to take the snap. It's Bo Melton, who has played played receiver, then he played corner, playing receiver again. And well, what's the old expression? If you had hands, you'd be a receiver. Melton just drops the pass, and again, maybe that's part of why LaFleur liked that play. Maybe he liked going for it. Maybe he had a play he thought was going to work. The play did work. Melton just did the hard part, just didn't catch the football. Again, it is colder out, makes it tougher, but got to make that catch. If they do, that puts them in field goal range, at least an opportunity to tie it up. Now, as I mentioned, the Packers weirdly did kind of get things back on track towards the end. So this one, it's a 3rd down and 8 situation. The Eagles just scored a touchdown. You're in a tough spot here. You really are if you're going to try and if you're going to try and win this for Green Bay. But still, I mean, again, forget about the zeros on the scoreboard. 7.5 minutes down 10. This is not a death sentence. However, on a 3rd and 8, they need a play if they're going to convert this. This is going to be Dontavian Wicks who's running this route. Wicks had a solid game in this one. Had 4 catches for 34 yards. Was their second leading receiver in this one. And on this play, I'm not sure if Philadelphia loses them in coverage for a second or if it's just a great route. Either way, though, I mean, defender playing way off the sticks. In one of their instances of not the best defense, but great job by Green Bay to take advantage. And again, game situation-wise, they probably go for it if it's a 4th down, but good job to not even force them into that situation to be able to convert. So that was good. They ran the ball for a touchdown. Jacobs didn't have a great day in this one, but did have a great drive to help, get them into the end zone. They get to this point eventually. It's a 4th down and 1. They get the stop. They have a situation now where just get a yard on this play and you're close to field goal range. You still need a little bit more, but this is a fine situation. And this, quite frankly, is just a mess for Green Bay for a couple reasons. For one thing, they're not lined up right. So even if they convert, they're going to have to go back 5 yards and then try this again. So that's never good. I also just don't get this play call. The quarterback sneak thing had been working. Granted, they've been kind of moving early, so that's not ideal. But it still feels like that's probably the move here. Instead, they go for a shotguns handoff. So I never really loved those on 4th and 1. And also here, watch the get off for the Eagles defensive line. I mean, look, they're moving right when that ball is set. They knew the snap count there. They got off so quickly with the flag. Also, you're wondering, was that a false start? I thought they were going to call a false start, and then the Packers were going to get another chance. That did not happen. It was just a lot going wrong there for Green Bay on the biggest play of the game. Ultimately, they do actually get another chance, but they just didn't quite have enough time, even with Nick Sirianni weirdly going for it at the end there to win the game. So Green Bay only scoring once, and this has been a couple games in a row now where this offense, which was looking like a great offense just a couple of weeks ago when they put up 35 against the Steelers, put up 27 against both the Cardinals and the Bengals, put up 40 against the Cowboys, has had some of these too, where, they had the 10-point performance against the Browns, only 13 against the Panthers, now only 7 against Philadelphia. You have a get-right game against the Giants next week, have to take care of business there, but definitely a disappointing loss for Green Bay, trying to get the 1 seed in the conference, and this is really going to hurt their chances with a loss to Philadelphia. But yeah, as a whole though, again, moving forward for Green Bay, I think that, hopefully you can kind of see Jordan Love, continue to work on making the right throws in these key spots. Receivers have to make the catches as well and just get healthier in the receiving course so they can get open more consistently, because that was the biggest issue in this game. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.